Okay, too good. So, welcome everyone to our second installment of Coffee with Clinic Sites as we tackle Google reviews today. Really appreciate you all taking the time to join us. Hopefully, we have a ton of value here. And really, what we're doing with this series is trying to help you establish different ways that you can really use these different tools to grow your clinic. And I think so often there's these different things like social media, Google reviews, SEO, improving your website conversion that can feel confusing and complicated because you're great at what you do, which is helping people in different ways. But what we're great at is tech. And so we love this opportunity to kind of jump on. And the reason we've called it Coffee with Clinic Sites is we want you to feel like this is an opportunity to like sit down with us. And if you were to sit across the table and say, help me with Google reviews, like, are they important? How do I do it? And so what we're hoping here is we can have a little 20-minute chat, talk it through, and that you come away feeling empowered, educated, and like you have a new tool to help grow your clinic. And so just for our agenda today, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Like I said, we're going to keep this to about 20 minutes of teaching to walk through some of these basic concepts and hopefully have you come away with some. We want this to feel like a cup of coffee. So understanding the importance of Google reviews is the first thing we're going to talk through. How has the digital landscape changed that's actually made Google reviews a really important part of growing your business? The second one is the impact that online reviews have on a patient or a potential patient coming, finding you online and building that trust with them that they actually can take that next step with you. We're going to talk about how to capture more Google reviews, some really practical strategies on how you can actually implement some different techniques to be able to bring in more Google reviews for your business. And then also tips to showcase great reviews. How do we actually highlight them once we get them in? How do we utilize them most effectively? And then, as I mentioned at the end, we're going to have some time for Q&A, so feel free to drop questions into the chat, and we'll get to those in a little bit. All right, so let's kick it off with the importance of Google reviews. How did things change over the last number of years where Google reviews become such an important part of advertising, promoting your business? I think there's this idea that the web is this funny thing where we can go there to find amazing resources, but we can also go there and find things that maybe aren't great. Anyone can throw up a website in a day. Anyone can claim in a minute to be the best at anything, but how do we actually trust what we're finding online? Our time, our money, our health is precious, and we don't want to waste it. So as consumers, as people who are finding things on the web, we're looking for information and we're trying to figure out what we can trust because we don't want to waste all of that. We don't want to waste our time, our money, and our health. And so what we're doing is we're seeking some validation. We're trying to figure out who's trustworthy and who's not. And we want to know if others have had a good experience, because if they have, that makes it more promising that we're going to have a good experience. And if others are willing to stand by that business and put their hand up and say, hey, this was a great experience, then all of a sudden we're going to pay a little bit more attention. We're going to be a little bit more likely to click through and follow through on what that business has to offer. And so I just want to highlight a few quick stats here to back this up. 89% of users read online reviews before buying a product. We've all been there, whether it's we're on Amazon and we're about to buy something. Well, we click down to see, did other people like this? We're on TripAdvisor looking to schedule a holiday. You go down to see what other people have felt about that resort. But the same is true when they're trying to find your clinic. They're wanting to find out what others have said. And the reality is, that we're going to talk about in a minute, Google's really put those reviews front and center. So if they're searching for someone near them, the reviews are right there. Why not click them and read them? And so it really incentivizes us to pay attention to this and get reviews out there. 59% of buyers choose Google to read reviews online. There's a huge discrepancy here. There's a reason why I call this Google reviews and not online reviews, and it's because the majority of people are looking to Google. And a big part of that is that Google search is obviously the major player out there when it comes to where people are starting their process. And so seeing that almost 60% of people are actually beginning that process with Google and going directly to that source is why we're focusing on them today. And 79% of buyers believe online reviews. So obviously there's a little bit of hesitation sometimes when it comes to online reviews, but depending on the source, we're seeing that in general, people really do trust them and make their decisions based on these reviews. So all of a sudden, that gives us something as a business to really pay attention to. Continuing on with that, why do Google reviews specifically hold extra weight? What is it about Google that really sets it apart? The first thing is that Google requires an account to post a Google review. Obviously, that's not a perfect filter, but it does mean there's a little bit of a barrier to entry to actually post it. And often there's a first name, last name, photo attached to them. And so it just gives them a lot more credibility than as opposed to just a generic testimonial written out on a website, which can be easily faked. And we don't really know where that came from. Maybe it's just got some initials or something like that. And so a Google review seems to hold a little bit more authority to it. They're perceived as trustworthy because Google is considered a reputable source of information. Again, no one's saying it's perfect, but it actually does put a little bit of filter in place so that not just anyone can leave it there. And the big one thing I think is really massive is they can't be deleted. So you can often have curated reviews where we're just going to put up our best ones. With Google, they're all there to see. So if someone's had a bad experience, that business can't delete it. And so it really helps it hold that extra weight when people are reading through Google reviews. And this other idea that 1 in 5 consumers trust the reviews that are written websites. So only 20% will trust just written out reviews. We've all had that skepticism of like, well, did anyone say that? Like, who said that? Was that your mother or who left that comment for you? And so we don't really know what to make of that. Whereas again, when it's actually kind of authenticated as a Google review, we're just going to trust it more. And so why should you as a business why should it hold extra weight for you? And this is because, as I mentioned earlier, Google is the most widely used search engine. It's often the starting point for people to find a local business, whether they're just searching the web, they're on their phone, they're searching in maps, they're trying to find someone quickly that offers a service. And what Google does specifically when they start that search is, like I said, they are showcasing the reviews right there. And specifically, I want to show how on the local map search results, when people are searching for a practitioner near them, we're seeing those show up right on that side. And Google often gives prominence to the ones who are getting the most reviews. And so we're seeing this real value in having good reviews. There's lots of criteria that go into how Google ranks. Let's say, so here I did a search for chiropractor near me. Google's got lots of factors that determine how they're putting those ones at the top, but reviews is certainly one of the factors there. And if I'm clicking this link, well, I'm probably going to start leaning immediately more towards the one who have the higher rating and more reviews left, because there's just that quality and consistency that makes it less risky for me to go visit that chiropractor. I want to talk about the impact of reviews and why they build trust. And I've talked for years about this idea that when someone's approaching a new business online or they're looking for a service, there's questions that they need answers. And as we're attracting new patients, our goal is to answer those questions as fast as we possibly can to get them to book their first appointment. And so what are some of those questions someone's asking when they're looking for you? I've listed out a few here to help us brainstorm. Is this business going to provide a quality service? Can I trust that this is going to be a good experience? Will they be able to fulfill their claims to help me? It's one thing to say it on their website, but how do I know that they're actually going to be able to follow through on that? Have they helped people dealing with my problem? I've got a really sore lower back. I've got constant headaches. Can you help me? Is that like, it's great that you're a chiropractor, but do you actually help with this specific issue I'm dealing with? Is this going to be worth my time and money? I'm going to take the time to schedule this. I'm going to take the time to drive down there. I'm going to take the time for the appointment. Is it actually going to be all worth it for me? And has this business provided a consistently good service? These are really common thoughts, whether or not we're even doing it very literally. These are the kind of the criteria, the hurdles we have to get over before we're going to decide to book with someone. And so from there, the thing I love is that Google reviews help answer every one of these questions. And I'm going to just to kind of explain why, to go piece by piece on those questions. Is this business going to provide a quality service? Well, if I pull you up and you've got 55-star reviews, that's going to suggest yes. I feel like if that many people have had a good experience and have been willing to put their hand up and say, this was great, well, now I feel like, okay, I can feel pretty confident that the quality is going to be there. Will they be able to fulfill their claims to be able to help me? If the reviews use the same language the company does, so you say, we're the best at this. For clinic sites, one of the things we really value is great customer support. Well, it means the world when our customers go into our Google reviews and say their customer support was amazing. Now it's all of a sudden them saying it, not just us claiming it. And that's a big difference, because that's not a claim, that's someone's experience. Have they helped other people dealing with my problem? If you can have your reviews speak to the symptoms, you're set. If they're talking about lower back pain, if they're talking about those headaches I talked about earlier, all of a sudden I'm like, great, this person literally had the exact issue I was dealing with, and now I don't have to wonder whether or not there's kind of a vagueness to the way they describe that service or whatever. This review speaks to the fact that they can solve my problem. And one thing that's really interesting about this is you might say, well, I've got a few Google reviews, but none of them speak to this. And this is where the volume comes in. This is why we're going to look in a minute about how to capture more, because the first 8 reviews left for you might not say that, but maybe 2 of the next 20 specifically mention that specific symptom that person's dealing with. So we want to really try and get a volume of reviews to get that breadth of people talking about the different experiences and the different ways you serve people, because they're not gonna write out a marketing pitch for you right in that review, but they might touch on them all throughout your different reviews. Is this going to be worth my time and money? If other people describe an amazing experience and the resolved pain will assure the person that it's worth every penny. Because trust me, if you can take away those problems, they're like, yeah, this is definitely worth it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm searching online, is to try and solve this particular issue. So the review answers that for them. And has this business provided a consistently good service? It's one thing, I mean, I often would think about this for like a resort or a restaurant, is that if I look at it and there's kind of like, a really high Google rating, but I kind of look and in the last month, there's a bunch of poor reviews left. Well, now I'm questioning what's happened. Do they have a change in management? Have they lost some of their best servers? All of a sudden, you're going to get a sense of it. So if you can show consistently good ratings, that's kind of shows that consistency. And what I'm really emphasizing here is that we're not trying to make this a one-off effort where we email your patient list and say, everyone come in here and leave me a Google review, which is great to kind of bulk up that list. But if you're not consistently tracking down reviews, all those reviews that were left for you are going to be from 3-4 years ago eventually. And now it's like they don't look really great. It doesn't look like people are actively appreciating your service. So we want to develop systems where people are consistently leaving reviews. So with that, let's jump into how to capture more Google reviews. So a few basic tips here for you that should really help. And this is always an adage, you have to ask. There is no build it and they will come in this regard of that we just have to have a Google account and hopefully people will come and leave it. I think I see all the time Google map listings where people have the kind of 2 to 8 listings where those real super fans came, or over the years, there's been just kind of a small dribbling of people leaving reviews. That's what's going to happen if you don't do anything to actually proactively go and ask people to come and leave a review. And so what we want to do is figure out ways to insert that ask into different parts of the experience. One great idea is to train your staff to politely ask happy patients if they'd be willing to leave a review. For example, a satisfied patient who comments about having a successful treatment as they're leaving the office, it'd be like, hey, that's awesome. We love to hear that. If you don't mind, would you be able to leave a review for us? And maybe there's something as part of your post-appointment communication that can go out. Maybe there's a follow-up email that says, hey, we hope you enjoyed that appointment. Here's a link to our Google review to leave one for us if you wouldn't mind. Maybe there's thank you cards you send out along the way where you can ask for it, or maybe there's a mail out or a package like that you could send to people that just ask for those reviews. I think you'll be amazed how many people are happy to do it, but they just don't think about it. It's not on their radar to leave a Google review. But if you ask them and they're fans of yours and you've helped them in some way, they want to share that. An important part of this here too is to provide really clear instructions on how to leave a review. As we know, many people can struggle with different technical requests like that. So we want to make it really simple, get a link to it, provide instructions on how to do that. I don't have time to dive into the specifics of that today, but there's lots. If you Google like how to make it easy to leave a Google review, there's lots of great instructions on there. Another tip here is to include reminders on emails. Maybe it's in your signature, on receipts, put it onto social media asking for it. These are great ways to kind of have that ask to have people leave a Google review. Another idea here is to incentivize leaving a Google review. Maybe there's something you can do where you say there's a certain discount off your next appointment, or maybe you sell some products where you can provide a small discount on one of those if they leave a review. Maybe you say, hey, if you leave a review, we'd love to send you a free coffee card. Trust me when I say that the value of a Google review for your business is well worth a $5 or $10 coffee card for someone. When it comes to thinking about the future business that's going to help you grow. Maybe there's some small gift at the office they can have the next time they come in. People love little treats like that, and it can be a real boost to help people leave reviews. I would like to mention in this moment that one of the most successful campaigns I ever ran was when we were needing to do this exact thing for my business a number of years ago. And what we did was we asked every customer to come leave us a Google review. And we said, if you can leave a review within the next 2 weeks, we're going to do a draw for a free website for a year. And we saw an awesome number. I think it was like something like 20 to 30% of our customers came and left us a review, and they were glowing. And it was just that amazing way to boost that initial kind of star rating for us on Google. And it was really cool to watch. And also, like, our whole team just felt the love of all these amazing reviews coming in. So if there's something creative you can do like that, I think you'll also see that same boost if you can maybe do something to message your patient list, and then also find ways to incentivize new patients. I also make it really easy and straightforward. There's some different things you can do here. Again, I don't have a ton of time to dive into these exactly, but making it really easy and straightforward with like placing a QR code at your front desk where people can just pull out their phone and snap a picture of that and go directly to the link to leave a Google review. If maybe there's a link your front desk person can have, and they can send that out in an email to someone if they've had a great experience. If you make it simple, people will do it. If they have to stumble through the process, it's unlikely they're going to push through. They may want to do it, but they're not necessarily willing to take a ton of time to figure it out. So we got to make it really simple. And then also reminding patients that reviews help others, that other people out there are looking for this help, and that reviews are a great way to help them find you. And sometimes, again, if they're fans, if they've had that help along the way, they're going to want to help you out with it. So you want to appeal to their desire to help others. Also, using a reputation management system is a great tool. There's lots out there for this, and even some tips that we can help with as well. But for customers who were not satisfied, we don't necessarily want them leaving reviews. What we want to do is direct them to a contact form to ask them how we can do better. For customers who were satisfied, we want to ask them if they'd be willing to leave a review. We don't want everybody leaving us a Google review. And so there's some great tools out there where maybe instead of just simply sending out an email link for a Google review to everyone, we actually send out a thing to say, how did we do today? And if they say, loved it, like, what a great experience, we're like, awesome, leave us a review. And if they say, not a great experience, we say, how can we do better? And so that's just a way to help make sure our reviews are staying positive. I wanted to walk through some really practical tips here about tips to showcase reviews. So how do we utilize them once we've built out that awesome vault of Google reviews? We don't want them just to appear in search results. So we're going to walk through some basic tips here. The first one is to add Google reviews to your website. There's different ways to do this. You can manually bring them over and copy and paste them. But as one example, Clinic Sites has an awesome widget we do where we actually pull in automatically all 5-star reviews and add that as a widget directly onto your website. The really fun thing about this is it'll update daily, or update it as long as new reviews are coming in. And so it's actually kind of fun for us. Sometimes we'll just be looking at our own website and we'll be like, oh, look at that, 2 more reviews. Like, it actually showcases the latest clients who've loved our experience. And again, if you're a potential patient coming to your website and those reviews are within the last, because in this particular widget here, we're showing that one was a day ago, one was a week ago, one was 2 weeks ago. And so that shows that currently people are having a great experience at your clinic. And so that's awesome compared to just who knows when this review was left. Sometimes we can have a review out there that's mentioning, something that happened a long time ago, and it just dates and it doesn't feel current. Next tip is to highlight reviews on social media. So really taking these stories and bringing them out. If you don't ask for the stories, we're not going to have these to utilize, but all of a sudden this gives us great social media content that we've had these people who've had a great experience. We can put it into a little design if that's possible. Even on other platforms like Facebook, you could just post it directly into the caption, but it's actually an awesome way to highlight those and kind of get them out there a little bit more and give you some social media content to use. Another idea here is to add a link into your email signature. Again, you're sending out emails all the time in different contexts. Why not let people know that people have loved you and that you have a great Google rating? And so it can be kind of neat here to put a little link in there. If they click that link, they'll be taken to read other reviews and also prompted to leave a review themselves, but it's just another way to highlight them. And then including reviews on your printed materials. This is just, we have brochures out there, we have different rack cards you might have, different mail outs you might send. And so taking these and highlighting these reviews on there is amazing. Again, it's one thing to claim it in all these different materials that you're great at what you do, but it just adds such an awesome social validation if you can actually highlight someone else sharing about what a great experience it was. And so finally, I just wanted to mention, if you want to do this better and would like some help, we would love to help you. Often on our side of things, we're getting people saying all the time, like, our website doesn't look good. I don't know how to make this better. It's too expensive, or we can't get any support for our website. We can't get a hold of this person. It's too difficult to make edits. And so I do just want to mention that Clinic Sites is here to help. And the reason I specifically wanted to highlight this today is, in addition to having no setup fee, a really quick, you can spin up a preview in 1 minute, easy to make updates. If you look down that list, we're actually including that Google widget free on all Clinic Sites websites. And so if you want to know more information about that, we'd love to chat with you and figure out how we can implement that for you. It's such a fun tool, and it was a really exciting reason to highlight this on the webinar today. Click anytime to start.clinicsites.co if you want to just jump in and play around and try building a website. And also, we'd love to meet with you if you want to book a demo for us. If you're with Jane, we offer our service for $59 a month at a partnership rate, which we're really excited about. And then also it's $79 a month as a regular price. But I feel like I'd be remiss not to say this. Don't take my word for it. I just wanted to highlight a couple of reviews that have been left for Clinic Sites, just to kind of express how exciting this was that people had. We had Nate leave us a review just last month. I wish there were more than 5 stars for this one. I was very sad with Clinic Sites, with their customer service, timeliness, professionalism, and last but not least, their kindness. I've looked for different website companies in the past, and far too many are complicated and expensive and sell you. Josh helped me through the whole process, was extremely kind, and guided me to where now I'm extremely happy with my website. In my opinion, Clinic Sites is going to lead the industry with customer service, professional websites, and a seamless process. So I partially put this in here because it's great for you to know. If I want to, market Clinic Sites, I'm excited if you know it, but I actually want you to know how different that felt than me talking about Clinic Sites versus someone else talking about it. Because Nate Kinnison here, he's a local guide, left 24 reviews, obviously a validated person in Google's eyes. And so for him to say that just meant the world to our team. And if you're thinking about Clinic Sites, I love what that's going to feel like to read that. This other one, Matt and his team were so helpful throughout the entire process of building our clinic's website. I was able to use Website Builder easily. I'm 10 out of 10 satisfied with the final product. It's highly customizable with just the right amount of options. You get the idea. It's just so fun to see when other people say it, and you don't even have to, because they're having the experience that you want them to have. And so fun when they leave that review for you. So we are going to jump to Q&A in 1 minute. So if you haven't already, drop any questions in the chat and we can talk about those in just a second. But while you do that, I just wanted to highlight, we've got 2 more sessions coming up in this series. Next Thursday, April 11th, we're going to talk about increasing website conversions. How do we actually make your website work better for you, more powerful for you, so that we're using it? So all those eyeballs you're getting on your website, we want to actually get more bookings. And then on April 16th, we're going to talk about boosting your SEO. How do we help your website rank higher on Google? It's literally the question we get asked the most here. And so we're really excited about that session to just help you find practical ways to boost your ranking and hopefully not cost you a ton of money, because it really can, depending on which agency you go there and talk to. So we want to find some affordable solutions that won't take a ton of your time to help you rank better. So with that, I'm going to ask Kelty to jump back online here with us, and we're going to go through any questions if we have any.
Thank you, Matt. That was awesome. I really enjoyed it, even though this is stuff that I get to experience every day. It was great to hear that. We do have a few questions, so we'll start at the beginning. Can we turn Google reviews off? As a psychotherapist, we are not allowed to solicit reviews. Also, that means only negative reviews end up online. My Jane rating review is very high, and since I can't solicit, those are not online.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So this question is actually specific region by region, association by association, or like depending on your credentials. So obviously some people are not allowed to do this. So this one actually, because it becomes very legal in terms of your agreement with your practice, like sorry, the specific discipline you're in and the association you're part of, you actually I would likely go talk to them about the best way to do this. There is so much danger, unfortunately, in turning off. Like the only thing I can think of, I believe I've looked into this a couple times, and the only solution I had was like straight up taking off your Google business profile. But obviously that's painful. If people can't find you, can't look up your website, can't call you, but there is no way inside of Google reviews to turn off the reviews. So my understanding is that there has to just kind of be this accepted nature that these reviews are going to be left. I would honestly suggest, again, just because it's so specific to each industry, would be to contact your association and kind of develop a strategy on the best way to do this, to say, look, if we don't do this, exactly, you're going to get tons of negative reviews left. Not tons, but predominantly people who are upset are going to leave a negative review. People who are happy may or may not leave a good review. There was some stat I read on this also as I was preparing for this, that people are more likely to leave a negative review. So that's why we have to ask the people to leave the good ones. So anyways, I know that's not super helpful. It's kind of this funny world where Google has inserted itself as the predominant review source, but without the option to turn it off. They're not a paid service, so we have no control over it. We can't ask them to do anything. And so it does put us in a bit of a tough spot, specifically with this question. So I wish I had a better solution for you, but that's probably the best answer I can give at this time.
Thanks, Matt. The next question is, what's the best way to overcome a negative review, especially ones that don't connect to any clients in my database, so no way to follow up with them offline?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, something I didn't have time to get into today is that they actually say there's a positive effect, because everyone knows there's going to be negative reviews in the world. We all have experiences with that. We all know that some people you just can never make happy. And so the negative review isn't actually the worst thing, because what you have an opportunity to do is reply to it. So Google lets you reply to every review that's left. And you can actually completely counter that moment of the negative by showing an understanding, by showing some grace for them in that moment, explaining how you're sorry for their experience, and actually you can show this level of professionalism and that it matters to you. And so that's something I didn't fully dive into today, was this idea that replies to reviews matter. People actually really like to see how the business responds. It's not that someone's not going to complain or didn't have a bad day. It's how did you respond to them? And so I really encourage you to pay attention to your reviews as they come in, so that you can really jump in there when someone has a bad experience and just show your professionalism, show your care, and you actually turn to that moment and just like, oh, that person was grumpy, but what a great response. I really like these guys.
Amazing, thank you. So our next question is, if we already have Jane and clinic sites, can we get the free Google review widget?
You absolutely can. So just contact our team, support@clinicsites.co, and we would love to get that put onto the website for you.
Our next question is, what platform does clinic sites use to build websites? Webflow, WordPress?
Good question. We actually completely built our platform from scratch. There's lots, obviously, of solutions out there that you can go to build your website. We found that the ones that were available at the time were too limiting. If you use Squarespace, we can't customize it for you very much. We're stuck with what Squarespace offers. If you use WordPress, there's 1,001 options in every screen. Anyone who's used WordPress knows what I'm talking about, that it's just so complicated. Powerful, yes. Complicated also. And so we wanted to make it so simple. So we actually built the entire platform from scratch, which means that every day as we're meeting with our development team to talk about how to make things better, we have no limitations. We can build the best possible clinic website for you. And so the whole Clinic Sites website platform is completely proprietary to our team.
Okay, and our last question so far is, can the business owner respond to a Google review, responding to negative comments as a psychologist?
Yes, exactly. So I think we covered that one, that yes, you can respond to those, and I highly recommend it.
And if there's any other questions, drop them in the chat now. I think that's all we have for now, but if we don't want to leave before you, if you have anything else that you're curious about on Google reviews.
Awesome. So good. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. It's been awesome having you here. Great questions, great engagement. Again, 2 more sessions coming up in the series. Would love to have you there. If you've got more questions for our team, just write to support@clinicsites.co. Did one more come through there, or was that good, Kelsey? Okay, awesome. So good. Thanks all. Appreciate it and have a great day.